Welcome into the Dad Verb Podcast. Topics around parenting from the lens of a dad.
Gonna be chatting about a very difficult aspect of parenting, guys. It's gonna be bedtime. But pre-show, Ben had a pretty good jingle to just sum it up. We don't curse on this thing, but just go ahead, just go for it. What's the jingle, man?
Oh, what did I say? Bedtime is fucking hard. That's it.
That's it.
That's all you need to know. That's the entire
full
episode.
episode.
Bedtime is hard for
Done.
Everybody. Good night. We'll see you in the next episode.
Oh, we are going to be diving into bedtime. Honestly, like it's the way that you cap off the 4 to 7 o'clock grind, 4 to 8 o'clock grind. Sometimes at bedtime,
4 to 7.
4 times. Yeah, I know, right? Bedtime tends to push things over, but we all know about that kind of end of day grind, and the final cherry on top is that bedtime. And sometimes it is just a very difficult mountain to climb. And we're just going to do a quick slice of life episode and just chat about it, right? What does a bedtime routine look like for all of us? We all have different age kids. What does it look like? And then where some of the struggles are and how we kind of maybe like deal with bedtime mess sometimes, right? Ben's here. Andrew's here. Really excited to get into this episode. Ben already kind of got it started, but all right, I guess we'll just kick it off with you. You got two kiddos, different age kids. Yep. I'm sure sometimes one kiddo is way easier to put down than the other.
Mm-hmm.
What is a normal? What was tonight like? What does a normal bedtime routine look like for you? And where does it go off the rails?
So
I feel like the answer is I sat down to do the podcast. That's my wife's problem tonight. Like that's
yeah. I got the easy one to bed tonight. So my daughter is, I think we've talked about several, like my daughter's easier to put to bed. She's a better sleeper than my son has ever been. So within like the first couple months of her being alive, when she moved out of our room, so probably 6 months, 8 months old, she just wanted to be put down and put to sleep. She wanted to be fed her bottle, left alone, go to sleep. I did not know how to handle that because for the first year or more, our son did not sleep through the night. Now that has translated into bedtime routines. So kids, get a bath. My daughter wants maybe one book and a bottle, and then she, kind of plays around a little bit, and then she's ready to. I ask her after about 15 minutes of sitting in the chair, "Are you ready to lay in your crib?" And she'll either say yes or she'll say no. And if she says no, we rock for a few more minutes. If she says yes, fully awake, I lay her down, cover her with a blanket, say goodnight, walk out of the room, and she's done.
Yeah.
And then I get the alert from the Miku that says she's fallen asleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
My son's bedtime starts anywhere between 7 and 7:30. We do a bath, which usually takes at least half an hour.
Yeah.
Then we get out of the bath, chase him around for a while, try to get him dressed, try to brush his teeth, which for some reason is always like we're murdering him. Don't really understand it. We brush his teeth every single night, every time. It's like he's being killed. Then it's
what kind of toothbrush are you using on this kid? Like
he has 4 different toothbrushes, so it depends on the one that he wants that night. He has a spinny toothbrush, he has a Buzz Lightyear toothbrush, he has several others.
Yeah.
So depending on which one he wants to pick that evening is the one that he gets to use.
We
go on.
had a similar thing. I'll get to that later.
Ben is choosing to pick my torture device. Every night.
And then we go on to books. There's at least 2 books, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, depending on how long or short they are. And then we start moving into the sound machine comes on at 8, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And when the sound machine comes on, the lights go off. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to sleep. It just means the lights are off, and now it's time to talk, lay in bed, rock, have a conversation, ask a lot of very deep questions about the world and things that he has no comprehension of, but really wants to know about.
Yeah.
And then usually around 9 or so, it's time for you to go to sleep. I need to leave the room. Good night. You do not have to go to sleep, but you do need to stay in your room. In other words, once I leave the room, don't come out.
There
and
you
that's
go.
Now that's the thing is like, he comes out and he needs something. I'm hungry. I need a drink. I'm scared, which is the hardest one to hear because you're like, I'm scared. It's like, well, what do you do? Tell him
you
not
gotta
to
validate
be scared
it
and go back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, bedtime goes anywhere between 7 and 10 p.m. some nights. Some nights it's 8:30 or 9, but it's always a crapshoot. It's always a surprise what you're going to get. Could be good, could be terrible.
Yeah. Saunders, you want to go next?
Yeah, but mine's not going to take nearly like
I
an
know.
eighth of that length.
And that's the cool thing. We all you got younger ones. You got
All
younger
different.
ones, so it's
I do
it's
have
different.
younger ones.
I'll go into mine. Mine's probably going to take the longest.
We'll start with what I think is my first hack is my kids until yesterday have always had their own bedrooms. So, and they've always slept in them. So from the day they came home from the hospital, they have never slept in a room with us.
Yeah, no room share. Just they were always.
We can debate that on the Discord all you want, but
man, honestly, we said this pre-show too. Honestly, who the hell cares? Do whatever you want as long as your kids are happy and healthy. Whatever.
If your kids
they're
are
healthy,
healthy and
they're
safe,
happy.
you're good.
They sleep more than 8 hours a night. So if my children are tired and we don't necessarily have a structure, they will go down as early as 7:30 or as late as 10 or 11 at night. But it's generally based on okay, I'm done with this. It's bedtime. It's time. Or they're actually tired. The 18-month-old at this point, she'll be walking along and she'll stumble and you'll be like, did you stumble or are you tired? And then she'll do it again, in the other direction. You're like, you are out of energy. It is bedtime.
Batteries.
Yeah, your batteries are low.
Yep.
Both of my daughters go down with little muss or fuss. Basically, at this point, it's diaper change, potty pull up, into your jammies, lie down, and that's it. We haven't started evening books yet, and they get Apple Music through my Alexa as their white noise.
Okay.
Sometimes they won't be tired when they go down, and so there'll be a 20-30 minute I'm not tired. Or occasionally we've done the hey, you're going down for a nap, and we'll forget to feed one of them and they'll be hungry and they'll scream until we throw a go-go squeeze in them, and then oh yeah, okay, I'll go to sleep now, thanks
dude.
But for the most part, I don't think we've ever had a 2-hour bedroom routine in 2 years. I think 30-45 minutes is probably the max, and that includes a bath and running around because dad's being playful, not because things. But I've done them as short as 10 minutes. Okay, you're on the potty, bam, bam, done, into bed, and I'll come back downstairs because we have guests or something, and they'll be like, "What'd you just do?" I'm like, "I put Paige to sleep." I'm like, "She's asleep?" And I'm like, "Yes. Do you want to see the camera footage of her in her bed? No fuss, no muss." And they're like, how do you? I'm like, we don't screw around in this house for bedtime. I don't know how else to describe it, right? But they both go down really well. Sub 30 minutes, I should say.
I feel like that's where we're at now. So I feel like our bedtime routine has kind of been this parabola where it was lower, quicker, and then as they've gotten older into the toddler years, it goes up, and then sometimes we have those forever hour long plus 90-minuters, and then it's starting to come back down as they've gotten older to a more simplified thing. But with our boys, what kind of crushes me now is when it was just Henry, it was just and Colin, they had separate bedrooms, and then it would just be me. I would take one kiddo, Katie would take the other, and we'd switch. But now they share a room. They have bunk beds. So we don't get that one-on-one individual time. And that does crush me. I wish we have a different setup. I wish we had a big ass house so that everyone can have their own room and we can do that. But
just leave Dallas. You can build one.
I do feel bad about that, but when we put our boys down, it's at the same time. And again, my wife and I, we trade off. So one day it's with our daughter, and the other one the other night it'll be putting the boys down. And the boys have, for a while, it was one of those you know, helping them with the baths. And then just like Ben, we had like a assortment of toothbrushes where they have a regular one. Then we had one that was called like Hum, which is really fun. It was like this app, and then they would like follow along. It would, and they brush for the full 2 minutes. And as healthy as that is, I'm like, damn, this is taking forever. We gotta hurry this up, you know. So
2 minutes feels like
last
such
2
a
minutes.
long time.
no,
Like,
I can't. It's impatient. We've had a long day. We've had a long day. But now the favorite is it's like this toothbrush with like this button at the bottom where you press it and it's a light and it flashes, and it goes for about a minute or so. And then when the light stops, and then they stop. And it's been great because then they really like to like turn off the lights of their vanity and just like have like the light kind of pulsing. It's like this little, you know, it's great for them. So now they kind of do that. And then story time for a while was like really enjoyable. They would sit, they would listen, and then they would kind of start getting fidgety. And it's just, and then that's when it was really hard. It was just like, gosh, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? But now it's really fun because now it's like, I don't have to read. Henry's the reader. So Henry gets to read us all through his books, and I kind of working on his language and his phonics. He's really excited to read. And then Colin is starting to see his brother pick things up, and Colin's like, what is that word? What is that word? What's that word? So he's on the precipice of getting there too. So for a while, it was really difficult when we had like these toddlers, right? Where it was just, you know, bedtime would just be freaking just a nightmare. Like I did not like it. I just did not like it. And what was really hard is after the final, like kind of they lay down, there's that final end that Ben mentioned of like, it's the talking. It's when they open up and you have deep moments, right? There were times where I was just like, I don't have the energy for this, man. I know this is important for like building a strong relationship, but I've got to go downstairs. I got a house to clean and I'm tired, you know? And I was just, good night, you know? And I have just like kind of after, you know, one book, I'm just like, no, good night, guys.
We're going to bed.
Yeah. And there are plenty of those, but then there are also plenty of nights where like I would start top bunk Henry, have a good, you know, 10-minute right there. And then Colin, good 10-15-minute there and bounce out, you know? So that's kind of been our flow, but there was a time, especially maybe a year or two ago, where it was, man, it's the exhaustion with the plus them stalling, and then they want to keep jumping around and keep fidgeting and all that. But the magic of guys, you don't have to go to sleep right now, but just stay in the room. Just stay in the room. Like, I don't know why that like didn't dawn on me earlier that you could do that, but like we did that, and it's like it's been great, you know, because we still hear them kind of thumping around here and there. But and God forbid, still to this day, if during the day you're on a drive back from like Target and they close their eyes for like 2 minutes right before you go into the driveway, that 2-minute nap throws off the whole damn sleep routine, and they're fidgety and they won't go to sleep. Like it's crazy. But yeah, well, we usually start our bedtime, you know, around that like kind of that around 8 o'clock hour. School year during the school season, now that that's firing up, 7:30 is kind of when we try to get started, and then they're in bed by like 8:30.
So do you guys actually buy the like little kid toothbrushes?
Yeah,
because I just got a Philips Sonicare Travel $20 rechargeable toothbrush, and
I think it's fine too.
It goes for like the 2 minutes, and I'm like, here, this is yours. If you break it, I'll buy another head for it because it's $10 or whatever, right?
I wanted to try Quip. I think there's like a kid's Quip. You know, I haven't tried them, but but yeah, we just kind of go with the kids stuff, you know. Do you guys use the kids toothpaste, or do you just do regular stuff?
We do kids toothpaste because they're not, our son is just getting to the age where he knows to like spit the toothpaste out. And sometimes he'll still swallow it as a joke because he thinks it's funny. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna give yourself a stomach ache, but like, I guess you'll learn. And then our daughter, because she's only 18 months, we still do the kids toothpaste because if she does swallow it, it's not a big deal. And won't like cause any upset stomach or anything like that. But yeah, other than that, it's we do the kids toothbrushes, and mostly because they give them to us every time we go to the dentist. They give you like some sort of tiny toothbrush, and so we just stick with that. So like whenever they have a dental appointment, they get a new toothbrush anyway, so it works out.
Nice.
See, we did like the little, I call it the dog toothbrush. It looks like the little brush with the two things on the end until basically they're able to understand. I mean, like the 18-month-old has never touched a real toothbrush yet, but the 2-year-old finally got the like, what's that? That's a toothbrush. Do you want one? Yeah. Okay, here you go. Have at it, right? But they're just doing like we use Arm & Hammer baking soda toothpaste, so it does not taste good, and I have an aversion to like all the artificial sweeteners. So we're on like, yep, this is toothpaste. You get a very little bit. Have it. It's mostly like water and vibration cleaning my kids' teeth right now. But
I think it works. I didn't even talk about my daughter's nighttime routine, but she and I think my wife goes a little bit faster with her. Like my daughter really like milks it and enjoys kind of like the books. And it's fun. We have a lot of the board books, but some of she's grabbed like kind of these little Pete the Cat kind of softer page books, just like regular paper. And she cannot for the life of her, like grab the corner and then like flip a page.
Without
she always grabs closer to
out.
The inside. And every time it just rip every page. I'm like, oh my gosh, it shouldn't bother me this much, but it does. No, yeah,
we bought the Tyvek books, those indestructible Tyvek
paper ones.
Yeah. Those are really nice until they figure out the like how to turn a page piece.
Yeah.
But we don't do the reading at bedtime thing. But I'm a big fan of like, if we're gonna read at bedtime, I'm gonna read you like the classics. Like
Harry
Potter. I have them. That is not a classic.
It is to me.
Look, you want to have that debate? We can talk about garbage fantasy novels all you want, but I'm throwing it in the same category as Twilight. Okay.
I like garbage fantasy novels. A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm like into that stuff. Crescent City. Yeah. I've been reading it. All right, that's not this episode. I'm sorry. Ben, did you want to? I was gonna ask you to give a shout out to our sponsor, but go ahead and say your piece, Ben.
Oh yeah, bedtime is hard for everybody. That's it. There's no two ways about it. It's generally difficult. If you have a kid that goes to bed easy, golf clap. Congratulations for you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I have one of those. The other one, not so much. And you know what? You just learn to live it. You learn to figure it out, because at some point, and I know this is coming because he's getting to a point where he's doing so much stuff for himself. He's not going to want me to stay in the room when he goes to sleep. He's just going to tell me good night and he's going to go to bed. And that is the moment that I'm going to, probably not immediately, but eventually will miss the hour and a half or 2 hours of time that I got to spend with him every night, reading books and hanging out and talking on a Spider-Man walkie-talkie and listening to his Tony stories and all that stuff. Because it's not going to be there forever. So I try to keep it in context of like, this feels like forever because it's been 3-4 years of my life. But in the context of the entire time that I'm going to know him, it's a very small amount of time.
Well,
wow, Ben. Way to make me feel like I'm not bonding with my kids properly.
Ben's always the one that brings something so damn profound into the table. Yeah, we're going to do a hard pivot to thank our sponsors, Huckberry. We've been rocking some of the Huckberry stuff. You go to huckberry.com. You can check out amazing apparel for men. They've got a bunch of house brands as well as big name brands that you've heard of, like Vuori, 10,000. Outfitting dads with the good stuff, so you're not having to rely on good old Costco. No shots at Costco, but we do love our Huckberry. I'm gonna have an affiliate link for you guys to check out. So thanks to them for continuing to outfit amazing dads out there. Thank you for listening to this episode, guys. We're gonna be back next week with another one, and I think we're gonna be chatting a little bit about some movies, some movie ratings. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a fun chat. All right, guys, take care.